Matty Russell in the co-host chair, and right now, as I said, he should have won a gold Logie. He should have won the gold Logie for personality, not just all the, I don't know how many he won with the Footy Show, but he should have won the top gong, in my opinion. An extraordinary life, both as player, coach, and media. Ladies and gentlemen, roll out the maroon carpet for Paul the Fat Man Vautin. Come in, Fatty. Welcome to the show.
You idiot.
Are you speaking to me, Fatty, or Andrew there?
I'm speaking to me. Speaking to Andrew.
Yeah, Fatty.
Very kind, yes. It has been an extraordinary... Someone said, how's your life been? I would say surprising, because, it's been a magnificent ride, and, it's not over yet, but, I didn't expect to be the footballer that I wasn't the greatest, but then to have the career that I did, and then obviously the media has been very, very good, very good fun.
Hey, Fat,
but no, it's great to be on your show.
Oh, well, thank you for that. But it's a question.
And by the way, that day, that stunned rugby league when Ben Alexander was lost to us, and very, very sad. And I hope Brandy and his family celebrate it. Celebrate his life, yeah.
His life, yeah. No,
good fella. That Greg Alexander is one of the nicest, most humble and honest blokes you'd ever meet. He's fantastic.
No, he's good.
He's
fun
a
to
lovely,
work with.
lovely person.
Fatty, he's good fun to work with. It brought the club to its knees. It did. Now, Fatty, can we ask you, because we're here to hop in Origin mode, of course. But what's brought you the most fun in your rugby league? Was it the player, or was it like that 95 Origin series is still extraordinary? And then the media career, I don't know whether you ever had a bad day. It was, apart from falling out of a truck in a sumo suit. There's a lot of fun around the Footy Show. What brought you the most fun?
As far as my working life, I'm going to say the 95 Origin series, because that was just something out of this world. No one knows how that team achieved it. And it's, make a movie out of it. They should. And you know what? I reckon Hugh Jackman in a red wig. Hello? There's the coach.
You picked Hugh Jackman. You've anointed him to play the Fat. Lovely stuff.
That's it. I'll just have to teach him how to wobble his head. So that was incredible. I mean, you've had a rookie coach. I mean, I had coached before. I had coached the Brisbane Capitals in the State League a few years earlier, in '92. And to get that call from Ross Livermore when Wayne Bennett stood down was incredible. And then when I got off the phone, he said, "Will you coach Queensland?" I said, "Yeah, I'll do it." And then I said, "Did he just ask me to coach Queensland? How good's this?" And then, to pick that team, and the way we picked the team, we virtually ran out of players to pick. And then we found Ben Eichen and a story in the lift, and I didn't know who he was, and blah, blah, blah. And I mean, it's incredible. And then, the way that they played, they just played through sheer guts and spirit. That's how they played. And it was incredible. To be the team that had 11 to 12 internationals in their team. And I'm talking about some of the superstars of rugby league at the time. Steve Menzies, Andrew Johns, Matthew Johns, you name it. They had them all. And to win that 3-0 was just incredible. It's probably my favourite. It's definitely my favourite sporting event, that I was involved in, for sure.
Fatty, when I work with Blocker, I often point out to him that his broadcasting career has run more than 3 times as long as his playing career, yet he still advertises himself and thinks about himself as a former player. Now, your numbers, more than 200 first-grade games, 23 Origins, 13 tests. At what point do you think you went from former player, and it's an elite career, to broadcasting professional or media man, or have you even gone to that point yet?
No, well, let me pull you up there. Broadcasting professional is a bit of a stretch, as Andrew can attest to. I never did a lot of research on whatever, but it was just all natural. But no, I'm proud of the rugby league career that I had, and to be a former player. And I actually still call now. And I know we're in 2024, but I still call, to be honest, like I'm still playing in the 80s, and it's still that game, and it's not. It's moved on a hell of a lot, but I just loved playing footy, and people like Steve Roach. I mean, they're just gold. I used to love playing against Block. My favourite, apart from Brookvale Oval, my favourite spot to play was Leichhardt Oval on a Sunday afternoon, Because you went out there in front of 18,000 screaming lunatics, a really tight, small ground. The crowd's very close to you. They're yelling abuse at you. And we used to love it. I'd look across the field and there's Blocker and Junior and Ciro and Benny and going, wow, this is going to be a great afternoon. How good's this? Kick off at 3 o'clock. Oh, I used to love it playing there, against guys like Block, So, yeah, it's been interesting. It's really interesting,
Look, we can talk about a thousand things out of your life, but I do. There are some stories that warrant revisiting. One is the little-known fact of Paul Vautin, the number 6 for Australia. So that must have been a hell of a conversation. Bozo's the coach and says, Fatty, I got a plan. I got an idea. Is that how it sort of come about, or did you put yourself forward to play 5'8" for Australia?
No, I never did. No. I was 30 years of age and on that tour in 1989 to New Zealand. Brandy was on that tour, and anyway, we played the midweek game. It was against I think it was against someone up in it was up in Northern. It wasn't actually Auckland. It was another team. Anyway, so Bozo reads out the team, and he goes, blah, 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 Mick O'Connor, number 4, Dale Shearer, number 3, number 6, P. Vautin. Everyone looked at me, and I shrugged my shoulders and said, yeah, no problem. So he came to me like, listen, give me while of your rest, and, mate, you're playing good, I'm going to play you 5'8". I said, no problem. Does that mean I can kick? He said, you can kick as many times as you want. So it was hilarious. All I heard all game, we won quite well. All I heard all game was Fulton and Lewis sitting together up in the grandstand, cackling and laughing when I put a grubber in. We scored a try off one of the grubbers. Dale Shearer scored a try. It was a fun day, very fun. Playing in the number 6. I wish I could have kept the jumper.
Oh, you don't have the jumper? Is that true? No, is that serious?
No, I don't have the jumper. No, the midweek ones you had to give them back, yeah.
Oh, no, damn.
Incredible.
Damn that.
Yeah.
Damn that.
No, it was good. Oh. Very, very good. And Mick O'Connor actually, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing, but Mick O'Connor, after the game, we were having a beer, and he said, you know what, Fat, I'm going to tell you something. I've never had service like that. I said,
Leave that out there.
I said, is that good or bad? He goes, I'll let you decide. Anyway.
On the text, what about this from Mark of Penrith? He says, I still remember watching Cracker Fatty as a kid. The footy show was one of a kind. Thank to Fatty. It's something I remember for the rest of my life. Thanks, Fat Man.
Yeah.
Mark,
you know what?
People don't realise the preparation that went into the show, do they, Fat? The level of preparation.
Look, all the people behind the scenes, Glenn Pallister and Gary Burns, they all worked really, really hard. Lots of producers, and we just sort of turned up. We'd go through the rundown, and never over prepared. I didn't want to over prepare. I would say to the boys every time we walk, I say, listen, let's go out and have some fun tonight. Let's just enjoy ourselves, and that was the plan, and we did. And I knew I was going to mess up. I didn't care that I messed up. It's just natural, If I mess up, well, I'll cop it. And I'll cop the heat later if I've made a big blue, But it didn't matter to me that I messed up. I never messed up on purpose. I tried to be as good as I could, but I actually wasn't that good that I got everything right. But you know what? I'll tell you what I found, Andrew and Matt. The show's obviously finished in 2018. I finished in 2017. And I didn't know this. So myself and Pete and Chief would go home after the show and not give it another thought, And then over the last 5 or 6 years, the number of people that have come up to me and said, I want to thank you for that show because it kept our family together for 20 years. I've had a bloke come in and said, mate, me and my father are best friends in life because we never missed one of those shows. We'd sit there together. And I'm talking about a 45-year-old said this to me, and he had his 80-year-old dad with him. He said, mate, and you know what? I'm extremely, extremely humbled by that. Didn't realise the impact that it had on people watching it. So, it's very, very nice. It was very nice.
That is incredible. And, that's a great insight that you hear about the footy show, you talk about the footy show, you remember the footy show, but then to add that layer onto it, Fatty, that is great stuff.
Yeah. I was actually speaking down at Bowral, at the Bowral rugby team, and this bloke came up and he said, mate, and he had his dad with him, his dad was in the early 80s. No, we're best buddies because of that show. And it's like that sort of stuff. It happens just all the time, It's incredible. And as I said, I'm very humbled by it.
Here's a question for you, Fatty. This is from Nathan in North Sydney. He says, morning, boys. Morning, Fatty. What a great show that was growing up. Absolutely loved it. Just wondering, is Stuffy the dog still alive? And has anyone seen Mahatma Coat? Love you, fat man. Stuffy the dog. Where would Stuffy the dog be? Where's Stuffy? Great question.
Well, I think we did an ad with Rabbits. Rabbits had Stuffy on his knee, and he said, "Turn it up, Stuffy," and he kicked the dog. I think that's the last time we ever saw Stuffy. I think Rabbits killed Stuffy.
Yeah. You sent me some of the things you'd send me to do. I remember I had to interview Fabio. Remember him, Fabio, who came out when he'd been hit by the mongoose?
I can't believe
on
it.
the roller coaster.
Yeah.
You took the Channel 9 footy show office. I don't think the listeners would know how modest that was. It was just an asbestos-filled
nearly fell down every week.
Yeah, that's it. And you sent me out the back under a hills hoist interviewing Fabio, who came dressed up, big bloke, 6'5", and I had to present a pair of Y fronts with the cover of Mario Fennick's book on it. I had to present him a pair of undies. And that was television, Fatty? And that's good television?
That's what it was all about. Yeah, I know.
Wow.
Great goal television.
Well, Fatty,
that you had, the stuff you may have missed, that was very, very popular, for a couple of years. Very good. And you presented it so well. No, it was the whole thing. The whole thing was brilliant.
But who would have thought that?
And I love the people that I work with. That's who I love working with. Blocker and Sterlo and Chief and Mario and Greg Ritchie, who was Mahatma, and yourself. It was great.
Tony Chalmers.
But if an alien came down to Earth now and said, but Fatty, I'm watching this clip of you on the ABC TV from 1988. How was it you're still on television at all 25 years later? Let's go back to that great moment with David Morrow.
Well, let me tell you about that. So I'd been doing some work for them during the semi-final series. We got knocked out in the first round of the semis by Balmain in 1988. So they rang me and said we'd come on, and so grand final day, and then Balmain are playing Canterbury, but it's 1:45, and I didn't know that we were live on air. I thought we were pre-recording something. So Dave Morrow goes, so you asked me this a really hard question about Canterbury and Penrith, and then I gave an even worse answer. And then at the end, I was thinking to myself, I don't even know what I'm talking about. So I said those two famous words. One started with F, and the other one finished with T. And David Morrow goes, well, we've got a communication problem. Let's go down to Johnny Peard on the sideline. Communication problem, yeah. Someone just sat here and said those two. Yeah, and I looked into him and said, oh, mate, sorry about that. I said, we'll do that again. He said, do it again. We're live around Australia. I said, oh, you know what? They never rang me back.
No, but Fat, now, that's 1988, but then right up now into the 2024 season. This interview with Wayne Bennett, let's play that. Hard-hitting, Fatty, Ray Martin-esque, asking the questions that need to be asked. Let's have a listen.
Nathan, do you have a plan for Nathan Cleary? You don't worry about it, just a general plan?
He's not playing.
He's not playing. Thanks, Wayne.
See, you kept the standards. The benchmark was set high early, and you've kept it there, Fatty.
I know. Look, so I can't defend that. But in my defence, we pre-recorded that at about 20 past 2 on the day. Now, when I left the commentary box, I'd been up there with the boys, Salty and Cameron, and when I walked down, as far as I knew, he was in the team. But unfortunately, they made the decision to arrest him, and he wasn't in the team. So, it was a last-second gaffe. Well, mate, Wayne handled it great. It's the funniest thing. He said, it's the funniest thing I've ever seen. And when he said, oh, he's not playing, he hosed himself. Very, very good. But you know what? So the producers are standing behind the cameras, and they're going, what do we do? What do we do? I said, we'll do it again. We'll do it again. I said, listen, I don't care. Just run it. I couldn't give a fat rat's. And they said, all right. So, that's the thing, mate. It doesn't matter if you mess up, I reckon.
Oh, well, Fatty, this is why the fans on the text line love you for what you just said right then. This one from 708. Fat man, never before and never again. The Footy Show. Great memories of a fantastic era. Thank you, Fatty. A rugby league treasure. That text indicative of many we're getting this morning.
Rugby league treasure. And there's a photo floating around from your Brisbane West days, isn't there? where you are just God's gift to women. That photo that's floating around, you're in the gear and the little shorts. We'll see if we can dig that one out. We'll put that up on our social media account from the playing days.
I don't know what
had
happened
it, didn't you? You had
They
it there.
continue to show it. I got interviewed on the Sunday Footy show the other 2 weeks ago, and they showed it again. I don't know why they keep showing it. But I don't know how that happened. I must have been... So I just signed with Manly, and Rugby League Week wanted to do a story on me. So they sent up a photographer out of Brisbane. He turned up near where I lived, Everton Park, and he said, right, put some shorts on, pretend you run down here. And that was done at like 8 o'clock in the morning. So I don't know why I don't know what excited me about that, but I did look quite aroused.
Yes.
I still can't work it out.
The fat.
And I said to the boys, that they showed it on the Sunday Footy show. By the way, that's only a halfer.
Beautiful areas, Fat Man. Beautiful area. Hey, we better get a serious Origin assessment of next Wednesday. Why will Queensland wrap up the series at the MCG? The MCG where you had a great moment as coach, of course. That was just brilliant.
Just going back to that.
Brett Dallas.
Yeah. Just going back to that, like we hadn't won a series for 3 years, and we won the first game in Sydney 2-0, and then that wrapped it up. But Eddie Ward was the ref, and I think it was Brad Fittler gave the ball to Steve Menzies or Tim Brasher late in the game, and they scored a try, right? And I said to Choppy, that's it, where I will get him in game 3. And Choppy yells out, no, it's a forward pass. And then Brett Dallas took the ball from dummy half and ran 95 metres. That was the first series win. So that was wonderful. I think it's the only Queensland team to have won there, actually, at the MCG. But look, I was so wrapped in what New South Wales did in game 1. Now, this is going to be weird because I'm wrapping New South Wales, right? And it never happens. But their performance down to 12 men for all that period, they hung on to 2010 for a long time, and indeed, they looked like scoring a couple of times to get to 2016. It was an incredible effort. I thought that both second rowers, Liam Martin and Angus Crichton, were outstanding, along with a couple of the players. And now they've got Mitchell, and no matter what anyone thinks about Latrell Mitchell, he's got more talent than 95% of players in rugby league, right? He can do whatever he wants out there if he wants. And if he's on, and he's going to be on in the centres for New South Wales, I'm telling you that you guys are going to be very, very hard to beat. I like Mitch Moses. I feel for Nico Hines, but he just didn't do enough in that first game to get himself picked again. Mitch Moses is a very aggressive halfback. He's a runner. I love that in a halfback. I think they're all going to be better for the run. Cameron Murray's a big in. Dylan Edwards is a big in. So I'm looking at your team going, right, we're going to be really up against it. It's going to be a tremendous game. The only other thing is Queensland will get better as well. That first game's always a bit, we're just going to work it out where we are with each other in the teams, and then they work it out, and this will be a lot better game down there in Melbourne. Daly Cherry Evans, can anyone believe how good he's playing at 35? It's just incredible how he's good, and he's a great leader. They've got the hammer, they've got Val Holmes. It's a pretty good side. Reece Walsh comes back in. It's going to be tight. I'm telling you, I think it's going to be tight. I'm not saying we're certainties.
Well, before all that...
You guys have got a big chance.
That's next Wednesday. Before all that, Fatty, round 16 tonight, Dolphins Storm to get us going. I'm bound for Suncorp Stadium tonight and Seabus Super Stadium tomorrow. Do I need to pack anything other than board shorts and thongs for a weekend in Queensland?
Mate, just bring sluggos. It's a beautiful, beautiful morning here on the Gold Coast where I am. It's going to be a lovely sunny day, and they'll be two interesting games as well, won't they? Dolphins Melbourne tonight. Yeah, it's going to be a good one. Melbourne, like they're not the team of old. They've got no superstars left, right? And Cam Munster's out at the moment. Pappenhausen's just coming back tonight. How they're doing it, it's just Bellamy, mate. Bellamy, Bennett. It's incredible. Probably the two greatest coaches rugby league's nearly ever seen. You've got Jack Gibsons and Bob Fultons and the like, but what a contest it'll be. Fantastic.
Great stuff, Fatty. So many texts to read, but we do need to let you go. But like this one, Fat, one of the best ever Roosters. That's lovely. I'm rock hard listening to this interview. Thank you. Fatty sent a message to my sister's marriage. Lucky for him, his career lasted longer than the marriage. I don't know if you remember that. Footy show better than Hey Hey. It's Saturday. There's so many messages there, Fatty. Thanks for being very gracious with your time. You're always welcome on our program, mate. And
Been a pleasure, mate.
keep being the fat. Just keep being the fat.
Absolutely.
Simple as that.
I will. Thank you very much, boys. Pleasure to be on your show, and anytime, call me.
Fatty Vautin. How good. How good. As I said, should have. I think the same of Richie Benaud. There was no more popular man on Australian TV. If Gold Logie was about awarding the most popular people on TV, I thought Richie Benaud should have, and I think Fatty should have won. Not just the show awards. They were far bigger than that. They're just an amazing talent. So, Fatty Vautin right here. If you want to wax lyrical about the Footy Show in the last half hour of the program, some of your favourite memories, let's do it. Let's talk about the Footy Show great moments, some of the anti-ads and all the rest. 0457 736 736 on the text line and the Great Southern Bank open line 1300 01 1170. We're here for Bryden's Lawyers, unable to work due to injury or illness. Contact the great people at Bryden's Lawyers for the best legal advice.